Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good vibes, good energy, good people. It's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Also, if you guys want to support my brand, it's inspiredbydreams.shop. That's a place you could go. You can add, something new to your closet, dress outside of the box. Okay, what's going on, my beautiful people? We got a lot to talk about this morning. There's a lot of things going down in these YouTube streets. And yeah, man, I want to break a few things down, some things down I've been seeing, and just some things that I just came across, my desk, you could say. But I wanted to I want to start this show off. Shouts out to Choke No Joke. He has an album out right now. You guys can go check it out. Choke always drops music. You'll hear it in the beginning of his lives and also other things. So check out Choke No Joke's music, man. Everybody's putting out them good vibes. And yeah, so I just wanted to give him a little shout and all the other content creators out there just doing their thing. Okay. Now, wow, 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 wow. Okay, let's start this. Episode off with this whole Mary J. Blige sued by Vado's, I guess, manager Misa Hylton for $5 million. $5 million. When I heard this, you guys, I'm be honest with you. I don't sugarcoat it I don't have to sugarcoat it and go around this situation. But what it looks like to me is that Vado has been sleeping with both of these females, and being that they're up there in age, there's a slight chance that this could be a little love triangle type of situation. Maybe Vado sleeping with Mary, got her mad, and then this became this whole thing. But what I wanted to say that's what it seems like to me, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Vado making $5 million for an album? No way. And that's no disrespect to him. But just to break down, just business-wise looking at it, Vado is a regional rapper. Meaning that most of his music, the consumption of his music is probably going to be Harlem and a few places in New York. Not too spread out far. Now, I can understand if you say something like, if he dropped the album and he's making 500,000, because it's the album, or we didn't, nobody, I'm telling you, nobody even heard of that Vado was dropping an album. Or anticipation builds, not only builds the project up, but you could also take away from that how much you think you're possibly gonna make off of each album. And being that Vado is not really in the light like that, and this is no disrespect, this is just the climate of today's of just the business. We talking business wise here. Vado making $5 million it's a reach. I'm talking about a reach. It's a reach off of his music. I don't even think that Jim Jones made that much money off of his album, $5 million. So the numbers, it seemed off. It seems more like Mary and Vado probably had a few things going on the sides, as well as Misa. And when she found out about it, this all blew up. This thing just went totally out of whack. But to me, as adults, we have to know, especially when it comes down, let's break it down from the female point of view. The older you, the up, okay, let me see how I can say it very respectful. Those ladies are up there in age. So in comparison to the younger females coming up, it whiffs of insecurity. It whiffs of I know you guys didn't think that Vado was just gonna stick around like that. I can understand if he's doing his thing with one and then he goes with the other. That's what it mostly sounds like to us as far as these YouTube streets. I've seen it is what it is, but shouts out to Cameron and Mace this morning. And yeah, I seen Cam said, he got a phone call and it sounds like, it could be Vado he probably was hitting around. Because when you see somebody saying, okay, I'm suing Mary for $5 million, it shows that, there is some kind of like friction there. This is not, I don't think it has anything to do with Vado's music, because us as, consumers and people that listen to, music all around, Vado, we didn't even know Vado was coming out with an album, respectfully. So it sounds like, Vado was probably hitting both of them. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm sorry, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like somebody's disgruntled that, somebody was sleeping with somebody and then they threw this over there, his head. Because $5 million, I just don't see how Vado is getting that, through his music. Maybe somewhere else, maybe Love and Hip Hop or one of these other entities where he can go and, build. But when it comes down to music, I think it was also even a bad, and I believe Misa, she was a stylist. I don't know about the manager stuff, but if she was a manager, that was a bad move, a bad investment, thinking that you was gonna make $5 million from Vado when there's other artists out there, especially at the age group he's in. You gotta weigh out all factors. So it sounds to me like this is like a love triangle with Mary J. Blige and Misa. I don't know. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How y'all doing? I'm feeling good. Feeling good. Just trying to, figure this whole Mary J. Blige thing out. It's kind of crazy. And I'm not knocking because, it just seems like, when the older ladies are playing a young female game, like the back and forth bickering, because the older you get, you're more understanding of if this situation goes left or right, or if it's only for the sex. You're more understanding of that the older you get. The younger you are, you're more territorial, wanting to keep what's yours. But I don't know. It just seems like this doesn't have anything to do with music, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think people were anticipating Vado's music. I don't. I really don't. I really don't. It's not like he's Cameron. It's not like he's Mace or like just an artist that's always in the public's eye that his music is gonna be presented, and it just. But to make $5 million off of, nah. Now if it was an artist like A Boogie, yeah, he could pull $5 million out of an album, or he can do a few shows here and there, show a couple appearances, and $5 million a round up. But Vado, nah, he's a little bit from, I wouldn't say the old school, but a little bit of the past era where you would have had to keep up to make that $5 million. So it seems like they're in a little love triangle, you guys. I don't know, but all the fussing and fighting back and forth is very telling. It's very telling, man. All I could say with that one, it didn't sound right. Oh yeah, what kind of motorcycle you got? You got a Ducati? Oh, what's your question? What's your question? Let me see. I don't want to skip your question. Okay, hold on. Let me check it out. How long ago did you? Okay, how long ago did I transition as a male? I was always a male. I thought it was something urgent. You did get me on that one. Like it up, like up the video, like and share the video. But yeah, man, so I'm just, in my head, I'm just thinking like the whole situation, it sounds a little bit iffy. And you can always, is Mary J. Blige in a relationship or is Misa in a relationship? If both of those ladies claim that they're single, yeah, they were both sleeping with the same guy. Females, it's very telling when you guys are bickering back and forth, especially you're going to pull this money or you're going to sue Mary J. Blige for $5 million. I don't think, it doesn't even sound like $5 million, it's in Vado's situation, is in his, I don't know about the guy, but all I can say is when it comes down to music, expecting to make $5 million off of Vado's music in these times where he's a more regional rapper, where he's based in Harlem and, street dudes, as far as New York, I don't think that $5 million was a good investment. And I could have sworn Misa was a stylist, not a manager. So I'm not sure on that. We're still waiting to hear what else is yet to come as far as that situation. But to me, that's what it seems like to me. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it has anything to do with any music. Even if you was doing songs with Mary J. Blige or doing this and that, the public did not see that or know that to even, because there's a lot of artists that do collabs with bigger artists, and they still don't get the views or they still don't get that presence that they normally would. In these times when it comes to music, it has a lot to do with age group, and it has a lot to do with visibility and just being relevant in these times. The more relevant you are, the more money you can make, and the better the music, that will in turn tell you how much you can make off of it. But just banking on $5 million on an artist, like, it's something doesn't seem right. And that's just being honest. I mean, people in hip hop could understand that. I think even Vado understands that. If he got 5 million out of this whole situation, I think it's almost a win-win because it looks like, you know, both of them is tangled up with Vado. I don't know. But I think as an older female, you should know a little better and just have be a little more secretive about what you're doing. You know, it doesn't always, when it hits social media, that's when you know it's all bad. It's going to get figured out. When it comes down, I wanted to touch on this Diddy situation because we're leading up to this whole Diddy case, and I told you the time, it just spun around the corner. It's right here. Now they're saying that Diddy, they're questioning the jurors, making sure, you know, because you can't say the jury, they already seen the tape. It's hard for anybody when it comes down to social media to say they didn't see the tape. So now what they're doing is they're questioning things about people's, you know, how much they listen to hip hop. Are they culture driven? They're looking at deeper things, and they're questioning the jury just to see other things to find out, you know, what type of jury that they're facing. And I feel like with Diddy's situation, the more things that come into play, I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, but I did hear that there's 5 other videotapes. 5 other videotapes, you guys. So it's not just concentrating on the videotape with Cassie that we saw. There's possibly 4 more of those tapes, probably in different situations. I don't know. But that's what I was hearing, and that becomes very tricky when it comes down to court. And it's up to this point, to me, it seems like it's not looking good for Diddy. But there's a possibility, being that, you know, his time served was a long time already. So that's going to always add in. And I just feel like if they don't have anything that's criminal on him, then there's a possibility Diddy could probably get a better shot at, you know, beating this situation. But if they have more tapes and there's more evidence and there's things that we haven't seen, well, then I don't know I can't call it. I can't call it. Let me see. Another thing that was going around in these YouTube streets. This is going to be a crazy one. It's this whole Fat Joe thing that's going on with I believe it's like his ex hype man / ghostwriter. For those who didn't know, because you know, Fat Joe, he gets his rhymes written from different people, you know, to formulate a song, kind of like, you know, just put it all together, and he gets help with that. And there's a guy that I've seen in the past. His name was TA. He was speaking on Fat Joe, but I feel like where TA went wrong when he got on YouTube, he started to speak about Fat Joe, you know, almost like sex trafficking a younger female by the age of 16, and how he did certain things behind the scenes that we don't know about. When he got into details speaking on that, I forgot the platform he was speaking it on, but when he got into details speaking on that, that's when it became criminal. Once you're speaking on somebody's business and you don't have any proof, hopefully he probably does have proof or he doesn't. But if you don't have the proof to show that, now Fat Joe turns around and he's suing him, because that's going to mess up a lot of his Fat Joe's business if he has some business going on the outside, or just his name, his character, everything, because he was explaining how Fat Joe, you know, he was messing with it like a 16-year-old, something like that. And those type of allegations can make somebody turn around and say, you know what, I'm suing you for defamation or whatever you have going. So that's going to be crazy to see what's going down with that, because look, we heard this from R. Kelly times, and there's nothing wrong with liking younger females, but when you're going illegally young, then that becomes a case not only just for social media talk, but that becomes a case for the precinct and cops and people involved. Because a lot of times we see things happening on social media, people talking about other people, and don't understand the things that they say could be detrimental to that person's business, whatever they have going for themselves. And I guess this whole thing is going to play out as well, because he also mentioned like a YouTuber that he went on his platform and things like that. It's crazy. My whole thing is like, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you doing? You have to be more, the older you get, you have to be more responsible in the people you're dating or the people you're sleeping with. Common sense. Now, if somebody out of the blue come and say you're doing something, or you sleeping with somebody that's illegal, or even at that ex trafficking, then you gotta come out there and defend yourself. So I don't know. TA saying that because Fat Joe also says that he was disgruntled because he felt like he didn't get paid for something. Now, in the past, we have heard that Fat Joe, we've heard a lot of stories of Fat Joe not wanting to pay Big Pun's family, and we heard a lot of things of when it comes down to business, Fat Joe just not being the best at it. Even when he ended up with his taxes and things like that, he ended up landing himself in prison. So we know that his business skills is not all the way up to par. We know that if he does have any business going for himself, he would have to have some kind of legal help to get him through with whatever he has going. So as far as him not paying and not paying his ghostwriter, or what you call it, a hype man, I can see how that all the way up to these points can build up and lead into something. Now you're dealing with a person that this is an internal fight when you really think about it. I thought about this situation, and I'm saying that yes, Fat Joe is the bigger name, but TA as well, these are people that were around him. So if it's going to be very tricky to see how this one plays out, because when it all boils down, if you don't have evidence, you don't have any videos on anything on video, anything like that that can prove, then you're in trouble. You're going to get sued, because that's going to mess up his business going forward. And I've heard a lot of things about a lot of rappers and a lot of R&B people, but it just, things don't stick to the wall unless you have the proper evidence. And we can see in these times how detrimental social media can be to somebody's job. Look at Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe, he was sitting there. To me, he was like the coolest guy, you know, as far as his podcast. Here and there, I'll tune in when he had some like really dope guests that I mess with. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tune into this one, let it play, let me hear what's going on. But behind the scenes, it looks like he was a whole different person. And that's what in turn messed up his business of him making $100 million with ESPN. Now, as far as the big numbers and things like that, I didn't concentrate on the $100 million missing. I concentrated on him not being able to use those same platforms or that get those same type of deals because of the situation. So if and then he comes out and he says sorry so quick, and offering a 19-year-old $10 million is telling that something did happen or something is in the realm of being true. You understand what I'm saying? So when you hear people on social media, to all the content creators out there, or just people that's been around these people, if you have stories and you don't have the right evidence, it's not on tape, it's not the best to jump on social media for views and just tell somebody's business. Because a lot of people got a whole lot of things going on in their regular life, whether they're a superstar or not, that it's hard to deal with in these times. So you never know what people are going through. The man has kids. I'm pretty sure you have kids as well. It should have been conducted in a more structured way. If you feel like you have allegations on him, well, present the evidence in a way where people could say, okay. But if you don't have that, that's when the fire turns back on you. So that's all I have to say with that Fat Joe and that whole TA, because I mean, what are we looking at here? What are we looking at here? You want people to just point out a man and say, oh, he slept with unless that female comes out and says, oh, this did happen, well, that'll be different. If you can find the female that happened to, and she could, oh, well, that's different. But from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is just off of word of mouth. And that right there, that gets a lot of content creators in trouble. Me, myself, I don't dig into people's business. I actually don't even want to know people's business. But if it does hit the headlines, then I see what it's about, and I give my take on it, or try to find a lesson in it to bring to my people, which is you guys. So that's what usually I'm up to when I'm doing my thing. When it comes to just, putting things out there, and it could be alleged this and that, that's when things get into a very sticky situation, man. People have businesses. Me, myself, I'm like a walking business. I don't want if somebody calls me out on something that's not true, well, you best to believe I'm going to take full measures to make sure. I don't care if it's a celebrity or whoever, I'm going to take full measures to protect myself as well as my business. And that's just that. That's anybody that's in a space where they feel like that could be detrimental for them making money going on in the days to come or years to come. You don't play around with people's money, and people have, it's not like we're like some spring chickens around here. A lot of these people that are being talked about, they're in their like ending stages, and not to say it like that, but they're older. So it's like whatever's coming in now, they have to really work with that. This is not like they just started or they're young and they coming up and they can mess up money. No, a lot of these people in these times, you can't mess up anything. You mess up the money, you might never get it back like the way you got it the first time. You know what I mean? So it seems like that's going to be a big lawsuit. There's a lot of lawsuits going on, man. A lot of lawsuits going down. It's crazy out there, but yo, you know, when you're saying something on somebody, you got to have somewhat of truth or somewhat of sources where you got it from, where like if it's a headline or somebody else is, you know, talking about it. Let me see. But what's going on, my beautiful people? What's going on? When I tell you in these YouTube streets, man, everybody, you know, the sad thing about us is everybody's trying to make a dollar off of everybody else's work, instead of really concentrating on putting your point of view on things and you making money off your own stuff. People are stepping on everybody's toes just to try to get to some place where they seem like it looks like the top is. But when you get up there, you start to realize how deceiving and how tricky it is to stay up there. Not to get there. To get there, you can rush up there. But to stay up there, that's where it's a slippery slope. Another lawsuit, well, they have been in court. You know, Nipsey Hussle, his family has been fighting with his family for his money, as far as like, you know, his property and things like that. They've been fighting in court. And I believe custody is part of this too. Nipsey's daughter, let me see, it says, yes, his daughter is caught in legal tension with her mom's leak. Oh my goodness. So you see how this goes? You have, as the breadwinner in your family, you have to be the one to, and I'm not just saying it has to be a will, but you have to have a layout so that both sides of family understands where your placement, if God forbid something happened, where is it going, the money's going, instead of having this fussing and fighting over money. That tells me that you guys never got along in the first place. The combined, you didn't get along. A lot of times you see people arguing, bickering, especially when somebody passes away. The money goes all over the place. And you have to have your life a little more structured, because then everybody would say, no, he owed me this, or this is for me, I'm entitled to this. And it's like a big war when it comes down to somebody else's money, you know? People don't fight for the money that they earn. They're ready to fight for money that's not even, you know, so it's crazy. Nipsey Hussle and them family, they're in court too. There's a lot of suing going on, a lot of disputes going on in these YouTube streets, man. I don't know, man. All over some money, man, over some money. And some of this stuff, it could have been avoided. Like, I really think that whole Mary J. Blige, and it reminds me of Little Kim dating that young guy. I'm like, what are you doing? You could do better. I mean, and I'm not saying, look, like, it just don't play off good when you see a older lady dating a younger guy and she doesn't have it together. You know, it's just not a good play on it. It seems like something's a little bit off. It always seems that way, like something is a little bit off. I'm just keeping it real and letting you know how, that's how I look at it. It just looks a little off. Like when I heard Kim, 25-year-old, and he's on social media wilding out on her, going wild crazy, it's just like, what did you expect? And that's no disrespect to him. He, at that age, he's doing what is expected of him. But Kim, at a grown age like that, you should already know that, you know, I'm just going to be honest, man. The older ladies cannot compete with the younger ladies coming up. There's so many younger ladies coming up. It's like, if you don't have yourself together by a time a certain age, of course your insecurity levels are going to go sky high, because there's always a chance that this younger chick will come around, and that can be, depending on what type of person you have, depending on what type of love that you have with that person, that they can go off into the wind with a younger person. But you have to know the people that you're dealing with, your circle, that you can hold it down. Because it's one thing having sex here, there, but when somebody gets tired of that here, there sex, they're going to want something else. And that's when it gets tricky. That is exactly the point when it gets tricky. Not in the beginning when everything's all good and you're excited to be with this person because it's a new experience. No, when it settles down and the smoke clears, two people, are they going to be there? Are they going to be there? That's what it's one thing having sex and randomly here and there, but if you have a longevity of good sex, now you got something working out. You guys are there for each other no matter what. But it does, these situations that I've been hearing and seeing, it seems like these are like fly by night, and somebody on one side likes somebody a little more than they like them, and things get all construed, and then it's just like, come on, ladies, you got to do better than that. You should know better. You should, especially a lady. I don't want to hear how females mature at an earlier age, and now what their maturity slows down the older they get. No, females know. Females know. Even if a young guy approaches a female, if I approach a older lady, and I get the vibe, she's like, oh, you just want this from me. That's just the first vibes of it. That's the vibes they're supposed to give off, knowing better that what this younger dude is trying to do with me. Whether we go along with it or not, they should still have their antennas up. If you don't have that, you're a loss on what this game is all about, what love is all about, and you can get caught up very quick and easily. You don't want to be on point. Be on point, females. That's just that whole thing with Mary, that's just what it could be something different, but that's just what it sounds like to me. Another thing I wanted to talk about, to the younger artists coming up, you see Lil Durk's situation. They are using his lyrics against him once again in court. Now, when it comes to Lil Durk's lyrics, when it comes to drill music, let's just say that type of music is not going to sit well in any court situation. Because once they start putting things together, think about it. Think about it. You think the lyrics is gonna say, oh, you make you feel like he's not guilty? The lyrics that they're using against him, that makes the situation even worse. So you got to be very careful out there when you're an artist out there and you're putting your music down, whether it's real life or not. Know how to word your stuff so that when you listen back to it, can I get arrested for this? Start thinking about it like that. Like, am I implementing anybody that can get them possibly in trouble within my music? Because if, God forbid, something even sounds like it's true, they're going to use that and they will take the time away that you think you have. It's scary out there, and people are losing their lives to prison or losing their lives to gun violence. They're the same thing. Whether you're going to die in prison because they take your time away from you, which is one of the most precious things you could have in life today, is to have time. You might not be on point today, but if you have time to get yourself right, you got the time to do it. Once you're in prison, your time is all controlled by people that not only don't love you, but people that don't care to, the time they take away from you, it will drain your mental health. I'm talking about drain it. Look at Diddy. They say, oh, Diddy, he has gray hairs, this and that. Yes. Prison is not a place where you can go there to get your mind right. You can get your mind right meditating outside of prison, sticking to yourself, even if you got to be by yourself, and you'll be way better off than the person that got to go to prison to try to find himself. I can't see finding myself in prison. I think in prison, you have to find yourself a shank, because there's so many people that have dealing with the mental health that how you think that you're going to heal? Don't you know 9 out of 10 times, everybody that's going to prison from the last 2 years has to do with mental health? So you got to be very careful. The people you're going in there, they're not your crew. They're not your crew. And it's sad because I feel like Lil Durk can turn his life around if he came out. But what can I say to those people that saying that his lyrics is what got this person or that person? I don't know. I just don't know. I know that from my last hearing his last interview, it seemed like Durk, he's out there trying to do the best he can. He says he's not staying in the way, getting into any prison politics. He's playing a little basketball, and then he's sticking to his religion. So when the youth see that, they can take a lesson from that, is the more disciplined you are, the better you are off in life. The more loose-minded and random you are, that gives your life chances for things to happen. Stay away from the people that don't really care about you. I know you feel like it's a gang, this and that, but let me tell you, everybody snitches. You're hearing it from your boy. Everybody snitches. Now, some people, yeah, they went to prison with the wet pillow. They was crying in those because they wanted to get out, but they had to go through what they had to go through. The other few that didn't tell, they had mental health issues, so they went in there trying to rep somebody that didn't really love them. The people that care about their life, they're going to tell whatever they got to do to get out of that position. And let me tell you, if you think that most people will not snitch, and you think about the numbers behind, you are completely a fool. And you hear people saying, don't snitch, this and that. These are street dudes. These are people that they conduct their business in the streets. Now, when you're dealing with time taken away from you, and you at a point in your life, you in your mid-30s, your life is over. The food you eat, the pain you got to go through, all of this stuff that's in prison is set against you. By the time you come out, you won't be yourself anyway. So pay attention to what's going on. If people really love you, they won't want to see you put yourself in positions where it could actually harm you or mess up what you got going for. A lot of these gangs and a lot of these people that consider themselves friends, they don't really love each other. Because if they loved each other, they would be trying to find other opportunities so they won't get in trouble. The things that they do to harm people, when the more you do things that's illegal around people that you can't trust, is the more chances you have of ending up in prison. You hear what I tell you? Nobody's going to love you like you. So don't believe in these people saying, oh, the reason why you see a lot of people saying, talking real heavy, oh, I don't snitch this and that, is because they never got put in that predicament yet where they were facing so much amount of time where they had to make that decision to snitch or not. But let you put somebody in that position and they got their daughter and their son at home, and they're gonna, well, you think they're gonna go in jail for somebody else just to hold them down when they got kids to feed? That's the reason why I tell people there's so many ways to do things legally and just move on that. No matter if it takes you longer to get there, doing all this illegal stuff is gonna get people put in prison for the rest of their life. It's a shame because, and it's not only a hit, because you're dealing with people that they're making a substantial amount of money and now that's being stripped away and it's a total 360. You don't think that play on your brain? You don't think that play on your mental health? If you was doing so much to try to get the money, now they strip it away from you. You know how much that plays on your mental health? It's not like you never made the money so you would never know. No, you were making the money and they stopped that and then put you in behind. That thing, look, listen, a lot of people don't make it out. A lot of people don't make it out. And that's the reason why I say Mickey made it. That's the reason why I called myself that, is because when you say somebody made it, everybody's making it is completely different. Some people feel like, you know, I made it because they got money up to their ears, which is fine. But then other people say they made it because they waking up in the morning and thank the Most High for the blessings that they were all. See, when you feel blessed, can't nothing else come in front of you to try to take that away from you. When God blesses you, it's a different type of feeling. It's a different type of enjoyment, how you enjoy the world, how you enjoy every food, every meal that you eat, how you enjoy your energy, your skin, how you feel inside. You enjoy all of this because you know these are the things that nobody else can take from you. They can't run up on you and say, give me your energy with a gun. Give me all your good energy. Give me all your good vibes. No, they can't do that. They can't do that. So all of these things, we start to realize as adults that these things are the things that really are really needed for you to be sustainable in today's life. A lot of these people, yeah, they could, you know, don't you know how many rich people are in bad health and will pay any type of money to get that good health back? So look, listen to me when I tell you, life is more deserving. There's a lot more things you can experience in life than going out there harming people or bringing harm to yourself. That's all I'm saying. If you want to have a good, you can have a, you don't have, to be honest with you, all this relationship stuff is overrated. You could have a few sexual partners and keeping it safe and still live your life more happy than a married couple, because 9 out of 10 times, the couples that you look on social media and think that they're together, them people don't even know each other yet. They don't. They don't. They're still, the older you are, the more you start still looking at looks and this and that without trying to get to know who the person is inside, is the more those mistakes would constantly keep happening to you. God would keep giving you that same mistake and the same results until you find a way to understand what this is really about. A lot of people are, they're money driven. So If you haven't made money in your lifetime or made that much of money in your lifetime, then the person that you feel like has that, you're gonna be subjected to do whatever that person wants to do because you don't want to lose that situation. And sometimes that means going outside of your means. But if you love yourself more, then nobody, no matter what prices around them or how much they're making, you love yourself to take yourself out of a situation that's unhealthy to you, that's detrimental to what you got going on. Don't you know some females sleep with the wrong guy and their name is forever stained? This is not what that chick said, oh, you could erase your whole thing. No, you can't erase, you could try to erase it in your mind, but what about everybody else that knows your whole list? Being a hoe is not cool. Being labeled by a bunch of people is not cool, and it doesn't say anything for your kids, knowing what their parents are. You don't want to do all of that. I feel like the best people that always hold it down are the people that keep their mouth. Keep your mouth shut. Stop talking so much. In these times, I've seen more fellas talk more than females. And I'm like, wow. Keep your mouth shut. If you're doing your thing, you're doing your thing. You don't have to let the world know. And that's how you see these situations blow up. Oh, now Vado wants they suing for $5 million. Meanwhile, I don't think that man's music would have equaled $5 million. Now, if it was $500,000, even off of that sounds crazy in these times for where he came from to make an album and make even $500,000. I don't even think they're making $500,000 on these albums. Cold cash, I don't think so. And I'm not knocking anybody, but I'm just telling you it is what it is. It's not what people think. You have to be a top artist to be pulling in numbers like 5 million here, 5 million there. It ain't that with the music. We all know this. You talking about in streams or you want cold cash? I think what you ladies have to stop doing is sleeping with the same person, whether it's Mary J. Blige or whatever biggest star there is. I love Mary J. Blige. I met her in the city when I was working at Channel 7. She's a really cool person. But we also know Mary J. Blige has a background and she has things that she went through. So maybe she might not be in a relationship type of mode. Maybe she wants to dabble here and there. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's always all about intentions. And that's what ends these people up in these situations. Intentions. What's your intention? There's nothing wrong with asking somebody, what's your intention? Where do you see this going? Is it just for this? Is it just for that? There's nothing wrong with being straight up with somebody. Trust me, people will respect you more. And it's not to say it won't happen. The same situation might go on, but you will have a different respect for it. Because it seems like every time something goes down with Shorty, with Mary, people are going to aim for your money. Because they know you making money from this and that, and that's going to be the aim. And it seems like Vado coming in the middle, he's a known guy. Probably doing good with the females uptown. 2 females like this guy. 1 female feels like she's going to put this fake management stuff on him, knowing that in these times the music ain't selling like that for that type of artist. And Mary, she's over, probably did a feature here and there, and they got their thing going on. It's little things happen, and things happen sometimes. Male and female, it's just things happen sometimes, and now there's this friction. This is how it goes down. We know this. We too grown for that nonsense. We know this ain't about no music. Unless y'all could tell me the last 5 songs Vado made, I don't want to hear it. That's no disrespect. That's just knowing what the business is like and the temperature of these types of situations. Let me see. Oh, you know what I've seen I wanted to bring to you guys? It was a guy his name is, I believe, Jack Doherty. He got robbed for $300,000 of jewelry in LA. And I looked at this guy and I said, look at you. And they're talking about his security didn't do nothing. What is your security going to do when the guns are drawn? What's going to happen? You're wearing $300,000 worth of jewelry in LA where people are being robbed, home invasions, and you really think that people won't snatch your life away for the jewelry? Are you serious? I can't say I feel bad for you. To be honest with you, it's sad that that's going on in these times, but when a person is walking around with $300,000 worth of jewelry on, just because you have a bodyguard, they can die too. If it was New York, they can die too. Because you have to be smart in the things you're doing. Just because you have a bodyguard, don't mean you could walk around with 300,000 on your neck and these. Look, you're going to get guns drawn on you every single time. We've seen and heard these situations from so many people. We was just speaking on PNB Rock. They rob Pop Smoke. Do you know how many people get robbed for their jewelry? Man, you better walk on and be happy that you still got your life with you. And don't come back out here wearing no $300,000 worth of jewelry when you know in these times how situations are. Do I feel bad for you? I don't feel one bit bad for you. Number one, it's probably the culture. You're dressing like you're a rapper. You got all the jewelry on and you feel like just because you have a bodyguard. People are starving out here, man. Use your common sense. There's people, they even shooting police officers out here in New York. They shot the guy in his BMW. I don't even know if it was a 2026 or it was a BMW, man. They shot him because they wanted to take his car. For no reason, people are doing this nonsense. So you walking around with all this diamonds all around your neck, and you don't think that you think that you're safe? Well, I think you should really learn your street smarts before you go buying all that jewelry. Because even the biggest of people know that no matter how big you are, how many bodyguards you have, once those guns get drawn, people are coming for what they're coming for, whether you like it or not. You have to know if you're going to wear, usually back in the days, if you 300 worth of jewelry, there's a couple places you can wear that. You can wear that like award shows. But when you're talking about you in the street, I do not feel bad for anybody that's wearing $500,000 or $300,000 worth of jewelry and walking around like life is just a box of chocolate. No, life is going to be a box of coffin for a lot of people for not understanding what the temperature is. If you don't have any street smarts, why don't you go get you some? Go get yours. Go get yours. Go learn what the streets is really about. Go learn and learn how to read people before you go out there and with all that stuff on you. All that junk jewelry all around your neck, you're going to lose your life for it. They will snatch your soul. They will snatch your soul for that. You hear me? You see what happened to Slim Thug? The minute he turned around, all his jewelry was gone. Now the jewelry's back. You got to have different type of connection, different type of people around in place if you want to live that type of lifestyle. If you just fronting with it, man, they're going to get you. They're going to get you. It could be your own security guard that set you up. You don't know what it is because you ain't even street smart. And you sitting there with these cameras all in your face talking about, oh, they robbed me for 300. Yeah, they did. And we understand here in these YouTube streets why it happened. You can hold it down. If you can't hold down your jewelry, don't expect somebody else to hold down your jewelry for you while you're wearing it. What type of nonsense is this? Where were you living on Mars? Man, if they see that shiny stuff around your neck or around your wrist, they want that. Yeah, they want that. They want that, bro. They want that, and they'll do anything to get it. They'll put a bullet through you and your bodyguard to get it. But you want to sit there with 300. That's the reason why I tell you, when you look at other people and try to mimic their lifestyle, you have to take whatever comes with that. You walking around with that stuff. Now you got ops. You never had ops in your life. You think that it stops with you or you think that if you go get another $300,000 worth of jewelry and you go back out there, it won't happen to you again? No, this time around, they might snatch your life with it. Be mindful of the things you do. Having all that stuff, and it's a time and place for everything. People just want to shine around people that don't have it. And that's what happens when you put steak in front of the lions. It's all your fault. Though I don't want to hear about it's the robber's fault. No, they trying to find some way to point at whatever they got going. It's your fault for making that mistake of doing that. The rules change. There's no more. When you see a pattern of this happening, it no longer is like, don't act like you don't know if it happens to you. No, you knew what it was, but you just didn't listen. The people that don't listen, you know where they end up. You know where they end up. I always tell you, a lot of dudes fall short because of their ego. Hard-headed dudes. No, I got this. They always think they right. Oh, no, this and that. And then when somebody, they could be smaller than them, they come up flexing on with that pistol on them, and then it's over. Now you don't know what to do. Oh, no, please. Now it's please, right? You didn't think it would go this way because they outsmarted you. You went through the front, they went through the back, and they caught up with you. 300,000 worth of jewelry. That was his fault. I don't want to hear it. And I know we're living in some harsh times. It's sad to say. But this constant reminders in LA from the past, home invasion, there's so many different incidents where you could have said, you know what, I don't think this is the right place for me to wear this. But you were so ready to wear it out there and try to be somebody that you're not, that's what you attracted. You attracted those robbers in your life. You attracted the ops in your life. You attract that. Once you attract that evil in your life, it's hard to get it out of your life. It's hard. Another thing that I seen was Brian McKnight. He's suing Jaguar Wright. Did y'all see that? So Brian McKnight, he's claiming that, what she was, speaking a whole bunch of nonsense on him. And let me see if they say what she said. It's abuse. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't have the right information or have some kind of evidence that he did that to somebody and you say it in these times, it's almost saying like, what are you doing? So I don't know what's going on with Brian McKnight suing Jaguar Wright, but that is a thing. I did hear that. I'm going to get more information on that to bring to you guys maybe on my next live, but it's a lot of suing going on. And people are really what it is. I see people are trying to protect their character. And some of these people are lying and some are not, So we'll have to wait and see what's going on and what type of evidence are being presented in these particular cases. Because what I'm seeing right now is people trying to save this fake character instead of really telling people what it really is. And we're gonna see a lot more of this in the next months to come. But I think right now the biggest case that's going to be covered will be Diddy. And from that point on, we're going to see a whole lot of changes when it comes to entertainment business as far as, and social media. That whole blend right there, it's very tricky. Because 1 minute, I'm going to tell you the truth, they have a pattern to what they do. It's almost like they do these things and they get online and start doing a quick sorry to try to convince the people that support them that they're not this type of person. You shouldn't be that type of person trying to cover it up in the first place instead of having to have to jump online and apologize to us that we don't really even know you guys. Yeah, we support you, but we don't really. Just because I support an artist doesn't mean I can tell you how that artist treats people. I'm not going for that. I'm not like fanned out that I feel like these artists can't make mistakes. No, they make bigger mistakes being due to the money they have and due to the space that they have between, people understanding that they are human beings. A lot of these people right now, your favorite artists right now behind the scenes is fighting addictions. But y'all don't want to hear that though. Y'all just want to keep making sure that artists show up on stage and jumping around. But you don't realize that addictions are taking over hip hop, taking over the entertainment business. People are addicted to so many different things that their life is up for jeopardy. They don't want to tell you that. Their life is up for jeopardy. Because all of these poisons that's being put for them to promote and the liquors, this and that, those are the same things that's coming back to get them, whether in karma or hurt themselves. It's like you haven't, like I always tell you, I don't understand why so many celebrities are pushing other people's alcohol brands and pushing alcohol on people when alcohol is the second leading cause of death in New York City. And still they just want to get their money. So it says to me that maybe the money that you think they have, they might not have, because putting your name and attaching your name to something that could be so poisonous, the karma that comes behind that damn near could wipe out your own family. Huh? And then you see how they're raising their kids, and you know that your family is not like that. And you're like, wait, I see the flaw in that. You can't let your kid act like this and do that. But they just so into getting the money, they have no time to concentrate on the characteristics that will really make them a better person in society. If you take them out of hip hop, these people, a lot of them would get themselves in trouble, because in hip hop is the only place where you feel like you can do what you want. Say what you want, do what you want. But when it comes down to the real world outside of that, that's when that clashes and they get themselves in trouble. You know, people wander off when they're addicted to like alcohol, and all these addictions are pulling people and hurting people behind the scenes. Did you guys see Young L? I told you guys about Young LA, right? He passes out on stage. Hold on. He passes out on stage and he acts like it's nothing, and he comes back and he starts dissing people for, you know, talking about it. And I look at this guy and I said, Young LA, man, how many things are you addicted to, man? It looked like you got about 2-3 more days before you really hit the coffin. You got all of this thing in your life, and this karma surrounding you. You passing out everywhere you go. Your health has to be up before you think about trying to do shows and this and that. Are you crazy? That's why I always commend the work that you see, like Kendrick Lamar, you see like Beyonce, they on tours. You know, those people, they have to be in tip-top shape to get up there. Beyonce ain't drinking a bunch of alcohol and throwing it back and swear she's having a good time. No, you have to have a certain health to even pull it through, to make it through that. So that's how you know people's health. You see her up there working hard, and you see Kendrick out there, you know they're not dealing with all that nonsense. Now, you see somebody numbing themselves up with the alcohol, eventually that's going to catch up to them, regardless if they say, you know what, I'm stopping it for a week and I'm just going to drink this and get healthy for this and then get back on it. No, you are addicted. They got you. Your money belongs to somebody else when something happens to you. Like Wendy Williams, fighting for her mind back, because if it wasn't for the people that knows her for who she is, they would have threw Wendy Williams away in the hospital. We probably wouldn't be able to see her again. Wendy fought, tried to fight her way. She was up on the window like this. Look, it's me. I'm not. Watch what's going on. That's all I'm saying. Watch what's going on. Sometimes they don't love you. They just love your money and the things you can do for them. That's not real friends. Those are people you have to stay far away from. The people that's going to love you are the people that's going to probably make you feel a little uncomfortable when you're trying to run to your addiction as your only way out. The people that stop you and say, wait, you're better than that. Don't drink no more of that. Those are the people that you need in your life. Not the people that say, let's cheers, cheers, it feels good, cheers. Cheers straight to the coffin, I promise you. Everything that you have to watch out. There's so many different ways of poisoning people, whether their mind, their food, the people around them. These are all different poisons that can get you and take your life away for the next person to come into your spot and make your money. That's all of these fights are about. Money, time. The time you don't have, so you feel like it's running out and you fall into this place where you think that this is going cuckoo. Keep your mind right, y'all. Keep your mind right. Watch what's going on. Watch how these different situations play out. Learn to take lessons from these so you won't ever have to fall in this trap like they are. Because let me tell you something, like I told you, not having it is one thing. But having it and having it took away from you, that's another. You remember I told you that. Make sure that whatever you're doing, everybody wants to, I want to be millionaire, millionaire, millionaire. Yes. But become a millionaire doing something that's easy and that you love doing. And you'll never work a day in your life. If you have to be out there holding this one together, holding that together, you real estate here, selling liquor here, selling this here, selling drawers here, selling pens there. That hustle is going to drain you out before you get to enjoy what you got going on. Because when one thing goes, you have to go handle it. Next thing. And it's like a trickle down of all a stressed out life. The happiest people in these times might have a little bit less, but it feels like more because their money is balanced off in the places where they can live and control their life way better. Pay attention out there. Don't you notice that there's so many, but I tell you, you won't even understand how many people are addicted to certain things that in their life right now, they can't even look they can't look at themselves in the mirror. They got to get up and keep going. It's just like go until they pace themselves out and realize that, look, man, your time is up. Your time is up. Even as rappers, I see rappers, you get to a certain point where you start to realize that it's the if you want to keep up with this and the audience is not pertaining to you, you got to spend millions of dollars on production. Because what I'm hearing is the production is better than the artist as well as the lyrics. So that just goes to show you that the only thing that's keeping up a lot of these people is the production. Not what you're saying. There's no attachment to the artist. Now, the artist that has attachment to, they will always be able to draw a crowd and make a lot of money because people are more attached to their lifestyle than just specifically the music they drop. When you have that, that's golden. But when you're just trying to put out splurt to splurts and splurts, it's just the production. It's just the production. Meaning that if I took that same production and put it on somebody that they want to see, then it would take off way further. And that makes a bigger investment. It's not the fact that that can't do no numbers. It's the fact that if I put it over here, it's going to do the most. Business is business, baby. Even life is a business. Your life is a business. It's your own business that you have to control. Don't let people control what you got going on. No matter what they think they can do, they can't do anything to you as long as you know what to do. That's how life works. People are stressed out because they didn't achieve or they lost what they thought that was going to be there forever. But nothing lasts forever. That's just life. The ladies, they secretly thinking that the older they get, the insecurities start kicking in because the younger chicks, not only are they looking like them, they're young. You can't keep up with the young. You know it. I'm sorry, you know it. That's why there's always an audience switch, and that's why you see a lot of grown guys trying to act like little boys or have that little boy mentality, is because that's the only time they remember they got that much attention with that type of mentality. The wiser you are, the crowd that you draw is going to be people that's more focused on bettering their life and doing things in that nature. If you act like a fool, act like you're in a circus, you're trying to impress a younger demographic. You have a young man's mindset. It's very simple, and like laughing at jokes that ain't funny and a whole bunch of stuff. You got to do a whole ring around the circus just to make yourself be known for attention. Never. Wisdom is going to cut your circle. Wisdom is going to cut off certain amount of people that know you're not playing around. It's not going to gather up as many people, It's just not going to do that. A circus is always going to be more packed than a church. It's just life. Because people want to see the lights and the this and that, and they want to get away to have a better feeling. But wisdom, it ain't about that. Wisdom comes with you learning and exercising your brain to see the best in every situation going forward. Living like you're in a circus, you're taking whatever comes to you. That's a young man's mentality, and I see a lot of men nowadays want to keep that same young mentality because that's all they know. Remember what I told you guys? After this video, I got a special video dropping for you guys, and I broke down just this whole fashion, and I really got some conversations in there that will open you guys' eyes up to the reason why when you see these people with all this Louis, Gucci, and all this thing all over themselves, and they're trying to tell you who this and that, it's just like a preacher wearing all that Gucci stuff. You're like, no, they could wear anything. Of course, a preacher could wear anything. But if he's in there dipped in Gucci, dipped in Louis, and you believe in him, he doesn't even believe in himself because he wouldn't have been presented as that. It's going to give you a breakdown. This video I got coming out is a very good video. And I'm telling you, a lot of people on YouTube, they're faking and fronting, and they're wearing this like rapper lifestyle, and they want to get treated a different way. Well, if you look like a rapper, you dress like a rapper, 300 worth of diamonds like a rapper, you're going to have to deal with what rappers deal with when they're put in these certain situations. Wake up. Smell your environment. Does it smell like gunpowder? Or does it smell like flowers and roses and things? What does it smell like? If your environment smells like gunpowder, you should not be going out there thinking that you run this block. All of those days, those days are over, man. The old guy on the corner, you see that guy now, you go the other side, you walk the other side of the street, man. He ain't got no knowledge for you. He don't even have knowledge for himself. They're going to tell you what they think they know, but they're never going to give you any understanding of what they've been through. And that's where they always fall short. I love you guys. I really thank you guys for tuning into the show. I have another video coming and I'm going to show you the differences. Is it designer or deception? That's why I was always telling you guys from the beginning. It wasn't like I couldn't explain it to you because I guess the temperature wasn't the same. But when I look at those people, I see more than just insecurities just because they're laced up in the Louis and I got more than you and money to the air. I knew that would eventually, because you have more money than who? It's crazy. It's crazy how perception can make people think. I don't even want to get into that, but you guys will see why rich people and wealthy people act a certain way and they don't just wear their money. And I'm happy that this video is dropping today. I'll have that for you after this 10:30. You guys can go check that out and just get a better understanding of you're going to have to be your own brand if you don't want to support these people that don't want to support you. Because when you turn your back after you bought your bag or whatever, when you turn your back, they roll their eyes. And you don't have to have eyes behind your head to know somebody don't love you. You hear me? I love you guys. I appreciate all of you. And I really appreciate you always showing up for me, sharing and liking my videos. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. That's all I can say is because if you let those people to lead, we'll be all in the hole. If you believed in those people and they told you that diamonds and all that stuff was everything, we'll be all out of here right now. I had to come in and let you know, no, wait. Those people are lying to you. Yeah, your own people, they're lying to you. All the belittling this and that is because they ain't had nothing. They didn't have anything. They didn't grow up with anything. They don't got this inside to know what is valuable in life. Until next time, it's your boy Mickey Made It. I love you guys. Make sure you like and share the video. And there's a lot more videos to come. Y'all stay up and like I always say, man, start a new conversation. Speak to somebody new or fall in love, man. Do something that's gonna take your mind off all this negative nonsense. It ain't worth it. And it ain't true. Get your mind right. Love.